What? I already exited that one. Okay. So the motion that was made by Mr. Lyle Weston was a motion to have the chief of police with her pending appeal to the BIA be paid through RAMA Funds. That was stated yesterday. And once she's cleared from BIA to go back to work, she can come back to the Law and Order Committee to address her back pay.
Okay. So we had a second on that. So Secretary, call for the vote.
Jeremy Rosales,
Not voting.
Beef Randall,
No.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Ha.
Blaine Little Thunder, David Puyer, David Kelly,
Not voting.
Jillian Spotted Bear.
Not voting.
Norman Standing Soldier, Richard Greenwald Senior, Ryan Jumping Eagle Senior,
I'm not voting.
Lyle Weston,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Not voting.
Jackie Sears,
Uh-huh.
Donroy Ghost Bear,
Yes.
James Cross,
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.,
Yes.
Anna Halverson,
Chair, can you call for quorum?
Yeah, we'll do that after we run this. 6 yes, 2 no, 9 not voting. Motion carried. Yes. Let us check and see who's here. I think there's someone out there. Sergeant Arms, can you check?
Yam could vote. He thinks he's counsel. James is already here. Oh, okay.
I think Davey's out there, so. Yes,
You don't have to.
I wanted to see with what our attorney Steve asked about the motion that he was going to do. I think we still need to run that because I think that the chief of staff still needs to come to Law and Order Committee according to the contract. And
Okay.
he needs to still do what he should have done in the beginning. But I think he just kind of did it on his own. And that's why really we didn't know about it till after.
okay,
So I was just going to make that motion to authorize and direct the chief of staff to report to the next Law and Order Committee on the status of the investigation upon which the suspension of the chief of police was based, and to provide an update on any appeals of that suspension. And the chief of police shall make a recommendation to the committee whether the suspension should be left in place pending appeal, whether the suspension may be lifted without jeopardizing the tribe's federal funding and litigation, or whether the tribe should take another employment action. So that'd be my motion.
okay. Use your mic, please.
You could still do this one, because
You can do that.
Yeah.
It's not.
it's not,
It's okay, we got a motion by Councilman Little Hawk Weston. Do we got a second?
it's not me done.
Second by Councilman Gosper.
We can get a clear understanding and know what we need to do.
Call,
Yeah.
call for the vote.
Jeremy Rosales,
Could you clarify the motion, please?
yeah, just say it again. So, yeah. He wants you to know.
Is it your recommendation? Oh, yeah.
You're good? Okay.
B. Frandl,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Huh?
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
David Puyer, David Kelly,
Not voting.
Jillian Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Ryan Jumping Eagle Senior,
Not voting.
Lyle Weston,
I'm sorry, Madam Secretary, could you read that for me again? I was busy over there, sorry.
yeah, Steve is the one that did the motion, so he'll.
What
Okay,
was
for
that?
the record,
Motion to authorize and direct the chief of staff to report to the Law and Order Committee on the status of the investigation upon which the suspension of the chief of police was based, and to provide an update on any appeals of that suspension. And the chief of staff shall make a recommendation to the committee whether the suspension should be left in place pending appeal, whether the suspension may be lifted without jeopardizing the tribe's federal funding and litigation, or whether the tribe should take another employment action.
Yes,
Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
Jackie Sears,
Uh-huh.
Donner Ghost Bear,
Yes.
James Cross,
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.,
Yes.
Anna Halverson,
Eleven yes, one abstain, three not voting, motion carried.
So that's all we had from Law and Order, Chair. But if it at all possible, I have a community member here that has some concerns. If it would be possible to give him the floor for just a few minutes before we break quorum here or end the meeting.
Okay. Okay. Also, we have another, we have another issue here. The attorney just wants to address after the speaker here, so go ahead. Just identify yourself and
Yes, sir. Good evening, council. Rusty Merdanian, proud vet, Oglala Sioux tribe. And just wanted to take a minute of your time requesting support to get our, I see a number of you veterans here, and I know you all come from families of veterans, but our services continue to be diminished and our staff is shorted at the Hot Springs VA. So just wondering if we can get some government-to-government consultation with our congressional reps, asking them to get our VA up and going up there, and even requesting the VA secretary to come down and visit the campus. And there's a number of veterans come from all over the country, and a lot of our native veterans here I see up there, and their family members also. So that's all. I thank you for your time, and you all have a great evening. I know you have a tough job, and thank you.
Councilman Spotted.
Thank you, President. And hello, Mr. Merdanian. And thank you for being here on behalf of the veterans. Are you saying that we are not being properly represented in Hot Springs?
No, it's just our services have been diminished, and our staff is just seem like the staff is kind of being diminished up there too. So just with the restructuring of the VA, just asking, it used to be fully staffed, emergency services, surgery units, and then now there's no emergency services provided. The DOM barely functions. It used to be fully functional. It was, at the time, #1 PTSD country in the #1 PTSD treatment program in the country. So just as we all know, seconds and minutes matter when it comes to heart attacks or strokes or different things. So we're just asking for with the restructuring of the VA to hopefully they can, because you see like Reno and the Tri-Cities are getting major upgrades, but just want to make sure we're not left out here in the Midwest. So thank you.
President. So with that, I know we have a veteran service officer, and with you being a veteran, and we do, I believe this is the highest veteran representation in this circle. Currently, I don't believe you require a motion, but to go on record, I would like to make a motion for your office to send representation to the VA, and just to know, maybe work with the VSO and find out what services are being offered to bring that, and see how they can work or collaborate with services here or what they can bring down here. I know 2 administrations ago, we were working on a facility, or 3 administrations ago, we were working on a facility, and all they asked were that they had some office space to come down here. But I believe we lost that to a different program, and we lost those efforts. Having that veterans committee established would help in that process, but we don't have the veterans committee. But maybe in lieu of that, your office can send yourself, or you maybe work with the VSO to go to Hot Springs to find out what services are being offered. Is there funding? I know we did have a CBOC here or a veterans office here. I'm not sure what type of services are being rendered. We also had a veterans van here for transportation. I don't know if we're even applying for that highly rural or veterans transportation grant anymore. There's just so many questions that we've been asking. I don't believe we're getting those answers from, I'm not sure who at this point. So that's my motion.
Yeah, glad you brought that up. I think the veterans are meeting. I think we just had a meeting last night, and they are working on bylaws and things like that to move forward to, I think, as far as being a charter. So because we don't have a veterans committee, they're taking it upon themselves to organize. So definitely we have to get them recognized, or we have to do something where we have representation as a tribe. I don't see that happening here, because that was my issue when I was in the districts and on that veterans committee, the lack of participation. And I believe you were also part of that too, when the veterans committee only had a couple of representation, a couple of people representing, but not enough for a quorum. So
Yeah,
yes, it is in need of representation and things like that. I don't know, when I go to Washington, I go into those veterans committee meetings. They do have, like at NCAI, those issues. We do sitting on those boards and voice. But lately, no, not down here. I know I told our delegation here in South Dakota, Senator Rounds and Congressman Johnson, that, we lack that communication with tribes. So we did address it to him. I know I did.
I know, and I'm sorry, sir, but this Senator Thune is the House Majority Leader now, and I remember responding with him a few years ago when they were trying to strip down, actually close the Hot Springs VA and move the DOM to Rapid City and stuff. But I have that letter somewhere, and one of these days I'll pull it out and share it with everyone on Veterans Hour if I can find it. But they were in the process of closing Sioux Falls also. So all I'm requesting is just that our tribal government just meet with DC, or, with our congressional reps, whatever, because Hot Springs just takes orders from the other ones, and we know how the government is. So, but yeah, thank you for your time, and you all have a great evening, and hopefully we can move forward in a good way and get a lot of our veterans are getting older now, and with the services being diminished, it's not a good thing. So, but thank you for your time, and
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
I still have a motion on the floor.
So we have a motion, second by Councilman Gosper. Call for the vote.
thanks.
Jeremy Rosales,
Yes.
Beef Randall,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston,
Huh?
Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
David Poyer, David Kelly,
Yes.
Jillian Spotted Bear,
Yes.
Ryan Jumping Eagle Senior, Lyle Weston,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Ye-
Jackie Sears,
Oh, huh.
Donroy Ghost Bear,
Yes.
James Cross,
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.,
Yes.
Anna Halverson, okay, thank you. Ryan votes yes.
Fourteen yes, one not voting, motion carried. At this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to Steve, our attorney.
This is just a quick issue on the filling the vacant gaming commissioner seat. I did talk with the attorney for the gaming commission, and we both looked at the ordinance. The council appointed the very first commission, the 3 commissioners. But after that, successive commissioners are filled by election. And so the recommendation from the gaming commissioner attorney is to, compile your list of candidates and then put it to a special election and to have the election commission run that. I know that yesterday, the motion was to defer that issue until a special council meeting. You don't have? Oh, well, somehow we have to run that election. Pardon?
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, Steve, we currently don't have an election commission, but so what about compile that list and maybe letter of intents and let the council vote on them?
Let us think about that. That was the issue with, when I talked to the gaming commission attorney, it really talks about the council appointing the very first commission. And then after that, it's by election. Is it just that the seats are vacant, or you just have one? Okay, well, let's think about, I just wanted to raise the issue so that when we come back at the next special meeting, you're not surprised at that time. So I think you're still going to run your background checks. You're still going to run all of that and bring it back to the next meeting, and we can handle it at that time.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay. All right, well, moving on to our next agenda item. IHS, she did text and said that she cannot make it. She's on leave. And I don't believe there's a report with it, so. Didn't hear from OHC. Oh, okay, so they emailed the report, okay. So we'll move on to our next agenda item, BIA. Ladies, if you could. Okay, we did get a report on OH or Way Out to Health. So I don't know if we need a motion or not, no? The report, OHC?
Yeah, I looked at it too. A motion to approve.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. See, do I have a second? Second by Councilman Jumping Eagle and Councilman Dreamer. Secretary, call for the vote.
Jeremy Rosales,
Yes.
Beef Randall, Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Blaine Little Thunder,
Yeah.
David Poyer, David Poyer, David Kelly,
No.
Jillian Spotted Bear,
What is this?
to
Motion?
the OHC report that was emailed for approval.
No.
Ryan Jumping Eagle Senior. Lyle Weston.
No.
Bo Little White Man.
No.
Jackie Sears.
Yeah.
Donroy Gosper. James Cross.
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.
Yes.
Six yes, seven no, one not voting. Motion failed. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to BIA for their report. It's all yours, ladies.
Greetings. President Starr comes out, Secretary to Lance and Tribal Council. I will just skip to GA because that is hot. As I reported in my previous report, we received our third distribution of welfare assistance of $240,256. And then we received our final distribution of welfare assistance in the amount of $590,025. On August 4th, 2025, the May 2025 general assistance back payments were authorized in the amount of $75,180. On August 12th, 2025, the June 2025 general assistance back payments were authorized in the amount of $71,412. On August 25th, 2025, the July 2025 general assistance back payments were authorized in the amount of $66,612. And also on August 25th, 2025, the August 2025 general assistance regular payments were authorized in the amount of $65,777. And then, so I had reported last month about the Office of Trust Services is now accepting applications for funding for the fiscal year 2026 appropriations for attorney fees and litigation. But I just wanted to correct the application deadline is November 14th, 2025. I had reported last month that it was December, but it's November. Okay, regarding the natural resources grazing administration fees or execution fees, the fiscal year 2023 payment was processed on December 9th, 2024. And I'm currently working with Tony Montlow to get the fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025 funds processed. Regarding the administrative grazing fees for fiscal year 2020, fiscal year 2021, and fiscal year 2022, in anticipation of finding some type of resolution for that, I have requested the reports from the general or from the Great Plains region, and I hope to maybe look elsewhere to get that funding to the tribe. So lastly, I guess, can't even read my scribbles. I was successful in identifying some additional funding for the tribe to hire an additional auditing firm. And and that was per the motion number 25-269 made by Anna Anna Halverson and seconded by Lyle Weston to reaffirm resolution number 25-134 or 137. So now we're just waiting for the budget narrative and the scope of work to move that forward.
Chair,
Got a question? Go ahead.
can you identify, I'm sorry, can you identify the amount, please?
I have just identified some money, so I'm waiting on the scope of work.
Oh, okay, so we don't know the amount yet.
I don't know the amount, but I have a good handle on it, so.
So you're waiting on a scope of work coming from the tribe, or are you guys developing that?
The tribe is developing the scope of work, the
Okay.
narrative and the budget.
How long have we known about this? Month, or is it just recent, or?
No, I just discovered it.
Oh, okay,
they-
okay, you bet, thank you.
Yes. So I'm very happy about that.
Councilman Poyer.
I guess I'm gonna go back to the execution fees. And you said you paid you partial on of 23, 24, and you're working on 25, right?
We paid the entire portion of fiscal year 2023. I'm working with Tony Montlow on fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025.
So what happened to 2019, 20, 21, 22? Did you ever find those?
No. So I'm coming up with a different solution. So I've requested how much money exactly was there for grazing fees. And I'm gonna look for a way to get that money to the tribe.
When do you anticipate this? This has been going on for about 4 or 5 years now. 4 years to be exact, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So the tribe did receive money for the 2019. So it's
I think
2020,
about 20,000.
2021, and 2022.
No, we didn't get it. We'll work that out, but okay. So on this page 4 at the top, it says land exchanges and land exchanges. We've been approving land exchanges in land committee. Are you getting them, or what's, because you have 0 on here.
Correct. That would just be Sherry Coombs's report. She was on medical leave last month. So she's just reporting her numbers.
Well, it would be helpful to know, because I think one meeting we approved about 10 of them, and now I can't remember when it was, but it's coming up 0.
Right.
Where are we at? Okay, that's 0. Okay. How many probates have happened? The last report, it was over 1,000. So is that going down any?
Actually, it's kind of maintaining the same because we have approximately 1.5 deaths per day on the reservation.
What could you tell us how you plan on catching up?
Right.
Put it
Well,
another way then.
We still do have the assistance of the regional office, but they are being pulled to help the Fort Berthold agency because they're like a money generating tribe. And so they're going to continue to do some files remotely. They're going to have 2 gals are going to be coming here in a couple weeks, and they'll be here for at least 1 week to help to assist.
So what you're saying is we're a poor tribe, so we're going to be at the bottom. We'll never get out then.
Yeah, that's not my decision. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think we're getting treated very fairly here, I guess, where I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because some of them people that passed away, they're waiting for probate. Some of those people that are going to inherit have passed away. We're never gonna catch up. It's kind of like the Cabell case, you know, so it's the dysfunction in the BIA is there because they're not representing us, our tribal members, in a fair way. Thank you.
Councilman Luthander.
Question, the general assistance still going? People that get GA.
Yeah, general assistance, they call it, it's interchangeable, general assistance, welfare assistance. We're up to date as of August 24th. We're up to date on all payments
So how often do you get it? Every 2 weeks or monthly?
monthly.
Thank you.
So, and then, so regarding self-determination, we continue to actively work with the Oglala Sioux tribe to enhance the 638 contract reporting requirements. We continue to provide technical assistance, and we provide the monthly report to the Oglala Sioux tribe. And we were also invited to attend the council's finance committee to provide status reports. And they meet on a weekly basis, so we made that part of our routine. When they want us over there, we head over there.
Question. Go ahead, Councilwoman Spotted Bear.
Thank you, President. Good afternoon or good evening. Ms. DeVille, I appreciate you taking delight and prioritizing our social services and putting GA as your top report, because you feel that we're a welfare tribe, and I don't believe that's true. However, I would like to prioritize our probates and what we can do to move those along, and our land exchanges, because those seem to drag, and those should be a priority for us. And I would like to see that as a priority update when it comes to reporting, and see some type of change. If it's a matter of employing more staff or asking for additional staff from the regional office, what can we do to prioritize that for our folks? I can use myself as an example. My mother passed in 2020 and it's 2025, and we're still nothing on her probate. And we say, well, we're waiting on the courts. Well, we've done all of that, but that's just me as an example, but how many other people are in that same boat? And I'm sure that I can share similar stories for several people, but what can we do to push that along for so many other of our relatives out there that are waiting on their probate hearings? Because there's a lot of discussion in our land meetings regarding rights of ways and what we can do to address those issues, because we're talking about people's possible lands and rights to their lands and fee negotiations, that they should have some talk on that topic. That's just to name a few. So I guess that's my question, is what can we do to mitigate those areas or help in that area from the BIA to move those along?
Okay, so our hiring freeze was extended to October. So we're struggling with that yet. There are 3 people in the probate office, and those gals, they work very hard. We did have a letter that was sent from the tribe to the regional office, and that was what sparked the additional help from the regional office. And they're going to continue to do what they can do to help us. You know, whether we're boxing up, maybe they may not necessarily come here, but we could box more files up and let them work on them as they can. But I think the gals in that office do a tremendous job with what they have.
So when you say box files up, so you're boxing our relatives' files, transporting them to Aberdeen, having them processed there and then returned? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, there's a process for moving active records where they're all inventoried and tracked. And then on the receiving end, they inventory them in. You know, it's a pretty reliable process. But yeah.
Okay, so I believe you understood what I was getting at. So when we're talking about moving records, that, we want to ensure that our people's records are being exchanged properly and brought home safely. Thank you.
One thing, if I may, one thing I want to mention is, we mentioned it to the regional director, and we asked BIA up there, Scott Davis, on probates and how far we're behind. We did address those issues on a higher level. Again, with all the freezes and things, that's what we were told is the holdup. If that helps.
Okay, if there aren't any more questions for me, I want to turn it over to self-determination.
Good evening, council.
I got a quick question. Sorry to interject.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at page 9, and I think there's a clerical error on the direct contract support cost. You have 741,000. And if you look at the column to the far right for your 100 or 33.3% direct contract support cost, it says 741,677.25, which is different from the 661. Roughly what, $6? 16? Maybe just error, maybe. Oh, okay.
So those numbers are derived from an extensive workbook that we do based upon salary and fringe. And this is on top of the contract. Each contract receives indirect and direct contract support funds, which are calculated based upon the tribe's indirect cost rate. Now, that rate is to be negotiated on an annual basis based upon single audit completion. Upon that, we will then work to calculate the tribe's indirect cost and direct contract support cost dollars. Now, it is based upon each contract. It's not a lump sum that's given on top of a contract. That's not the case. In which the tribe was overdue in negotiating their IDC rate, their indirect contract rate. And so we worked with the tribe, and as you look in your packet in the purple folder, you're going to see the packet that's highlighted May 27th, 2025. That letter stipulates the process in which we were going to work with the tribe because they were on sanction. And this was notified to the tribe in our meeting in April of 2025, which was an in-person meeting. And in that in-person meeting was the president, the treasurer, the comptroller, along with the awarding official, superintendent, myself, and some council, a council representative was also present. And with that, we discussed the corrective action plan in which the tribe requested that corrective action plan regarding the delinquent audits, regarding the delinquent 425s, which are the federal financial reports, and the delinquent narrative reports. And so the corrective action plan addresses that. It also addresses how we were going to work with the tribe. So when the tribe's on sanction, they should not be receiving any IDC or direct contract support cost dollars. However, the awarding official decided to work with the tribe in trying to assist them. And so she agreed that 33.3%, if you look on that paragraph on the second page, it clearly stipulates what was going to be divided up on contract support funds. And in there, it also stipulates that the tribe needed to do their negotiated IDC rate, and therefore we couldn't determine those funds yet. We couldn't calculate those funds until we got an IDC rate. So that was that letter. And now if you go within that same packet, it gives you a lot of the history. But turn to July 29th, 2025 letter, it's highlighted. And in there, in the third paragraph, it clearly stipulates how much the tribe is going to receive based upon that negotiated lump sum rate of 29.72%. And of that, remember from that first letter, that May 27th letter, they're only going to receive 33.3% of those funds. And it clearly stipulates that in the July 29th, 2025 letter. So you see the highlighted portion where it says that the amount will be awarded based upon the fiscal year 2025 within the terms of the change in payment method issued May 27th. So it clearly states the May 27th letter that it's going to be 33.3% of what is calculated, okay? So I don't understand how there was some confusion because, like, again, I keep saying everything is documented, everything is sent. I make sure that we are on top of trying to communicate and clarify any questions that the tribe may have. So at this point in time, we have issued around $62,695.58 of that IDC based upon the contracts. So we're going to continue to work on the contracts to get the rest of the IDC out at that 33.3%.
Question, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there was an issue yesterday about the money that the tribe said that BIA was going to award, the 4.164, 162. But you're saying within the terms. So nothing's been released because the terms weren't met yet, or? That's kind of why I wanted the treasurer here. I asked her if she was going to be here today, so that way we could address this and get it cleared up, because we're hearing from her a different, what she thinks it is, and now I want to hear from BIA. That's why I think when you say within the terms, so can you explain that, Tina?
Sure. So within the terms, if you go back to that May 27th letter and you go to that last paragraph, and it says BIA has determined that because you have failed to submit appropriate audits, and then it says during the April 29th meeting.
Yeah.
And so if you read that, it clearly stipulates how the percentage will be divided up based upon direct and indirect contract support dollars. But we also state down there that in that last sentence, or the second to the last sentence, that we will continue to work with the tribe to get their, release their indirect cost. And we can't do that until we negotiated it. Well, then we did negotiate that, right? But it states that it's within the terms of that 33.3%. Okay? So they're not, the tribe will, Once the tribe submits the next audit, which is going to be 2022, they'll get another 33.3%. Okay? So right now, they're only going to get 33.3% of that 4.1. Okay? What has been calculated and what has been agreed upon, and what has been calculated and agreed upon, you will see in that July 29th letter. If you go to that third paragraph, it says that we received on May 30th from Purnell Associates the worksheets, and that we agree upon that amount, that 4.1, okay? And then if you read all the way down, it says then from there, we'll proceed with awarding the amount to the tribe's contracts in the fiscal year 2025 within the terms of the change in payment method. The change in payment method is that 33.3% based on that May 27th letter. Okay? Does that make sense now? Okay.
Go ahead.
I think the treasurer was, yesterday was, I think her thinking of the receiving that indirect cost was at a higher rate than that 33.3% or whatever that was. That's why she thought we were getting back that 4.164, 162. But I did read what Parnell and Associates sent to BIA, but you guys came back with a different formula based on what was submitted by the tribe. So what they submitted and said, this is what we should be getting back as indirect cost. You guys came back with a different amount based on that indirect cost that you were, what is it, that 33, or is it the 29, or is it 29 point something percent? Yeah, so it was lower than what I think they thought we were going to be getting by Parnell and Associates.
Okay, so Purnell and Associates submitted the paperwork and all the forms that you see attached in here, right? Behind the July 29th letter, you see a June 26th letter. And in the June 26th letter, it talks about how we come up with that negotiated lump sum rate based upon the tribe's 29.72% IDC rate, okay? So the IDC rate at 29.72 is that 4.1. That's the total amount based upon the 29.72 lump sum rate, okay? So that's the IDC rate that the tribe, we agreed upon. We negotiated, we agreed upon that rate, 29.72, which comes out to that 4.1, okay? Now, since the tribe submitted the audit for 2021, we agreed that we would give them 33.3% of this 4.1. So they only get 33% of the 4.1, okay? Yes. And that sheet I gave you, you'll see that sheet in the back of, I believe it is, what document is it? The same document with the letters gives you all of the calculations of what that comes out to. So look to that back of that letter packet. You will see the calculations from the IDC and the direct contract support cost at 33.3%. Okay? And you will see what it is at 100% at the 29.72. Now remember, that's the IDC rate for the tribe, that it's 29.72. That's their IDC rate for the BIA contracts for their indirect contract support funds, okay? Now, they're only gonna get 33% of that because they submitted 21. So when they submit 22, they'll get another 33.3% of that 4.1, okay?
Go ahead.
When we submit our 2022 audit at the end of December, looking at the letters that were submitted by the BIA, come January, we're going to still be unsanctioned because we'll still be 3 years behind on our audits. So I did bring that up to Dean yesterday because they're telling us that by December, when we submit the 22 audit, we'll be okay. So we all got a pay cut here. So we're all down to what, 32 hours a week, IDC employees. So now what's going to happen is we're kind of foreseeing that we're going to be out of this by the end of December. So January comes, we'll be back up to our 40 hours. Well, that's not so, because reading those letters and looking at the audits, even though we submit our 22 audit in December, we're still going to be 3 years behind audit, and you guys are still going to sanction us. That's kind of what I foresee in January. So I did bring that up to Dean yesterday, and he did, yes, agree. So I just wanted to share that because, you know, we're reading the documents and we're trying to understand why our IDC rate is where it is today. And so that way, you know, when people question us, our employees, anybody, we can share some of this information with them. So we're not out of the dark. You know, we're still sanctioned, and I know by January, we're going to still be sanctioned. And the thing about it is, he said, well, we'll try to get it, you know, submit our next, you know, audit. We're working on it. So by March, we'll probably be out of it. So I'm just really concerned about it. I guess some of us are. And so I wanted just to ask you that we're still going to be 3 years behind.
So that's why the superintendent and she just announced that she found some funding to address the resolution 25-137 to assist the tribe with funding for a second auditing firm. And if you get a second auditing firm and you get caught up with getting 2 audits and hopefully maybe 3 audits, then you're not so far behind. But if you continue to do 1 audit a year, you're always going to be 3 audits behind. Mathematically, you look at it. So that's why we're trying to provide the support to get you the funds for a second auditing firm so you can catch up and maybe be 1 audit behind, and maybe you work really hard the next coming year to get 2 audits done within a year.
We request a solution to the superintendent, to the BIA, to look for money so we can maybe get another auditing firm. And that did pass. And now today you're telling us that you found some money. So do we need to take any kind of action to accept that, or to have you, for us to utilize that? Or are you just going to go ahead and go by the resolution that we passed?
Well, in addition to the resolution, we'll also need the packet, the complete packet, which would be the budget justification, scope of work. And we're willing to assist with that.
And you would, Finance Committee Chair? Are you hearing what they're saying? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I
I'm
want-
waiting for her to,
Yeah,
it's
I think
too
we
heavy
need
you.
to know that, so maybe we need to address it, maybe at Finance.
She can go ahead of me.
Okay, well, go ahead now. You're up next.
Thank you, Councilman Weston, and thank you, President. Well, that was why I had my hand raised and why I asked the dollar amount from the findings that you had, because if we make a motion to obligate ourselves, then where's the what are we obligating to the funding? We don't even know how much you found. And I guess that's why I asked, why don't we know what the dollar amount is? So we know what we're cost sharing in or what we're going to have to put up. Because I know that was something that we would have to provide the additional funding to. So is that something we could bring to finance this Thursday so we can address that?
It is a good question. And yes, we did do our research to see what they've been, the average cost is and what it's been costing Oglala Sioux tribe. So we've kind of looked in that ballpark. And so that's what we're banking on, is that ballpark figure of what it typically costs the tribe to do an audit. And so that's what we're hoping to assist the tribe with, is that ballpark figure.
Thank you, President. So, and I think we all addressed that dollar amount in finance. So we can add that to the agenda on Thursday. And I just want to let the committee members who are not in finance committee, that Valentina and Ms. Duville have been attending the finance meetings. And they have been providing a report as well. So if you had any questions, they do show up to finance. But if you want to know the dollar amount, I believe we can address that here as well. It's around 220,000 for the audits.
Okay. Councilman Weston.
So I had a quick question, real quick, on your report here for May 27th, 2025. It states on the 1, 2, 3, about the third paragraph, your tribe has not submitted a single audit report for fiscal years 21, 22, and 23. Is that as of today?
Yes, and at the end of September, so 21 has been submitted in July, right? In the agreement, it was supposed to be May 31st.
Correct.
If you look at the letter, but they have submitted it in July. So now, as of current, it's 22, 23, and soon to be 24
Okay,
in September.
just clarification. Thank you.
Mhm. And then council, just one more packet that we gave out was this, and it goes to show who receives this information in that email. And so that you're aware that we try to be as transparent and communicate with all necessary parties. And so with that, you will see the report, the letter that states May 8, 2025, in which the tribe did request a corrective action plan. Behind that letter is the corrective action plan that talks about how we are going to address the delinquency of the audits, the federal financial reports, and the narrative reports. And it also lists deadlines there, timeframes, I should say. So in those timeframes is why this report has been produced for you all, is because of this and that request of that corrective action plan. Now, this is to help gauge and monitor where you are within those dates, within those timelines. However, in here, I took the liberty of printing out each contract, what has been submitted for each program, and you can see that those that are in the red are still ones I'm waiting to receive back. Meaning I did receive them, I did review them. There was a lot of discrepancies, so I had to send it back for those discrepancies to be corrected. And you will see within some of these programs that it's pretty stark. There's limited reporting. So it gives you an idea of where each contract is within that program. And it allows you to see, who's doing what.
Go ahead.
Tina, on the requirements for the 425s when you do, when the tribe does complete and they send them to you? What are kind of like the discrepancies that, as to why you had to send them back?
Those are really good questions. And so with that, I did bring an example of what that may look like. For example, I received 66 federal financial reports, 66 of them. And of the 66, I returned 46. The 20 I did accept was returned ones that were corrected based upon a previous submission. And so with that, what it allows you to see is what's been inputted and then the attached supporting documents that to support that report do not match up with the numbers that are being inputted within the federal financial report. Okay, so the two documents are not matching up, and therefore I don't have access into the tribe system to be able to see what those numbers should be, other than what the Bureau of Indian Affairs has awarded in that a contract through the various mods. And that's the numbers that we are able to share with the tribe. And we've been providing a lot of TA. It just seems like a regular basis that we are providing a lot of information to the tribe and helping them get a better understanding of how to correct a 425, as well as to have the supporting correct documentation for those 425s. So I did bring a couple of examples, and if you'd like, I can pass them around, but it'll let you visually see what I'm talking about, and it's just an example of kind of why I'm returning them. And it's because, like I said, it's not matching up.
Yeah, the reason why, I mean, I'd like to see them. And also because, we're saying that they're sending them over there and they keep sending them back. And, I know that you guys have to match your numbers but I want to understand if the accountants are understanding what needs to go in those 425s.
Yes.
So you're providing TA to them.
Correct. I am providing TA. And on top of that, you'll see this email from the regional director to President Starr comes out in his request for assistance with TA for the 425s and OST accountants. And the regional director did respond in saying that she's happy to assist. And so they're going to work out the logistics to try to bring Miss Diane Spotted Tail to provide TA. Now, keep in mind, she does not work for the Bureau of Indian Affairs. She works for Rosebud Sioux Tribe, okay? She does not work for the Bureau. She's been invited as part of the team in the past to provide TA for the accountants. So she's done this a few times for OST accountants, okay? Because she serves as one of the lead accountants for Rosebud Sioux Tribe.
Yeah, I think that's really important because if we want to expedite these audits, then I think we need to have her come in and maybe it'll move it along a little quicker, so I think that's good.
Councilman Kelly.
I had requested this at one of our finance meetings, and I'm glad it's coming. Mrs. Spotted Tail actually works in that MIP system, and Rosebud is way ahead of us when it comes to their reporting. Hell, their process is so simplified and easy. I don't understand why we're not even at that caliber yet. We need to buy the license and update our system, but other than that, it shouldn't be too hard. I'm glad you explained, Mr. Patton was in here yesterday saying, he's requested on numerous occasions for technical assistance through the Bureau, and he threw it on the chairman's lap, yesterday, and it sounds like you've been going above and beyond providing his staff with what they need. But yet you're telling us they sent over 66 425s and you had to return 44 of them, 46 of them. That's just terrible. You know, we've been harping on this for quite some time and our audits are killing us and we're only going to receive 1.4 per year if we don't clean this stuff up. Man, we ain't going to make it. I don't see how we're going to survive. Lyle might have to take another 8 hours. Yeah. He was telling Julianne early he's only got 2 hours on finance tomorrow. So, yeah, thank you.
You know, one thing I want to add on to that is when we provide these TAs there, some of the staff don't even show up. That should be at that table. So that's why I asked Dean, I said, it's mandatory. You got to be there. You and your staff. Because it's important that they're there, but some of their staff don't show up. And that's the main ones. Go ahead, Councilman.
You know, stepping back a couple steps here for the record. I just happened to be walking by and noticed they were having a meeting there. So I invited myself to that first meeting on the 27th. And with that being said, you know, I'd like to be included on all correspondence that happen. I think I'd like to be aware of what's going on. So I can ask some questions periodically. And I think the chair of finance should also be notified also. Thank you.
On that note there, I invite you all to be part of those meetings. I encourage you all to be part of those meetings. Okay. Motion to approve by Councilman Cross, second by Councilman Little Thunder, Councilman Weston. Call for the vote.
Jeremy Rosales,
Yes.
Beef Randall,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Blaine Little Thunder,
Good.
David Poyer, David Kelly,
Yes.
Jillian Spotted Bear,
Yep.
Ryan Jumping Eagle Senior, Lyle Weston,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man,
Yeah.
Jackie Sears,
Uh-huh.
Donner Ghost Bear,
Yes.
James Cross,
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.,
Yes.
One 13 yes, one not voting, motion carried. Thank you for your report and your patience coming today.
Thank you.
Chairman,
Yes.
is there a way you can get Bo and Jeremy a room at the casino? They stayed later than they're supposed to, so their wheels are mad at them. Both in trouble.
You need a motion? Is that your motion?
One room, they said.
Motion adjourned.
Okay, so our last item was banishments, exclusion. We don't see any, so a motion adjourned by Councilman Cross. Second by Councilman Little Hawk Weston. Secretary, call for the vote.
Jeremy Rosales,
Yes.
Beef Randall,
Yeah.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Blaine Little Thunder,
Yes.
David Poyer, David Kelly,
Yes.
Jillian Spotted Bear.
Yes.
Ryan Jumping Eagle Senior, Lyle Weston,
Yes.
Bo Little White Man, Jackie Sears, Donroy Ghost Bear, James Cross,
Yes.
George Dreamer Jr.
Yes.
Thirteen yes, one not voting, motion carried. Again, thank you to our listening audience. Thank you to the tribal council, our counterpartners, the BIA, for sticking around and finishing the meeting, our staff, our security. Thank you all for attending this long 2-day session. And with that, have a good night. We'll adjourn at 7:24 p.m. Wopila.